While we're waiting on SummerSlam, I was starting to think about some of the event's best matches over the years. It goes through decades of classics, from Brett vs. Owen to Cena vs. Styles. I wanted to make a shorter list, and I thought deciding what were the best SummerSlam matches from the last few years. I'm Duke from Duke It Out, here to give you the top 5 SummerSlam matches of the past 5 years. But first, a few quick honorable mentions. Sasha Banks vs. Asuka in 2020, Edge vs. Seth Rollins in 2021, and The Fiend's debut squashing Finn Balor. What could have been? Number 5, Drew McIntyre vs. Randy Orton 2020. By far the most underrated match on this list. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton's feud went on through most of the last half of 2020, but their first encounter remained my favorite match of the rivalry. Their Hell in a Cell match was also good, but this match felt the most competitive, back and forth, and impressed me the most with overall skill. Orton took the slower style he has to a much more desperate route, which I really enjoyed. And Drew looked like a dominant champion while selling anything Orton delivered, to the point where I really thought he could lose. The roll-up ending was actually a really good sequence to give fans wanting more for the rematch. I haven't heard much praise for this, so this one is definitely worthy of a rewatch if you're scrolling through Peacock. Number 4, Seth Rollins vs. Dolph Ziggler 2018. The talents of these two are undeniable, but somehow they still blew us away with the best SummerSlam opening in recent years. I think the disappointing outcome of their Iron Man match made people think less of this going in, because the further the match progressed, the fans got more and more invested, and they were loud by the time this was over. Ziggler sold everything masterfully and performed the arrogant champion really well. And this is another showing as to why Seth's 2018 IC title reign brought out some of his best work. I think this was the first time he switched the style of his superplex / Falcon Arrow spot, and it hasn't left my brain. A great IC title match with extra intrigue at the time, with fans wondering if Ambrose was going to turn on Seth. That obviously happened a couple months later. Number 3, Roman Reigns vs. John Cena 2021. I don't think anyone else could have been Roman's opponent at SummerSlam last year. The pop for when Cena returned at Money in the Bank gave me goosebumps. And the charisma from both guys during this match just felt like a blockbuster main event with the two biggest stars you could imagine at that time. Cena gave some great surprises after not being in the ring for a while. He still had his 5 moves of doom, but the beginning roll-ups were very slick and knows how to keep the crowd intrigued. Roman's trash talking was awesome, and the further it went on, he just felt more unstoppable. The outcome may have been a bit predictable, but this was a great main event, and the Brock return got a huge reaction as well. Number 2, Brock Lesnar vs. Seth Rollins 2019. One of the occasions where the sequel match outshined the first one by a long shot. Their WrestleMania bout was a very fun opening, but this main event brought out the incredible abilities in the ring from both guys in a longer span. Lesnar really showed why he's one of the best sellers of all time. Anytime he took a kick from Rollins, it looked incredible. And the dominant moments were great, especially when he swung Seth around with the rib bandage. Rollins sold the injured ribs terrifically, really making the crowd wonder, and that frog splash through the announce table looked amazing. The win for Rollins felt very earned, the match was very intense, and too bad that Fiend match was right after this, because it makes you forget how over Rollins used to be as a babyface. And number 1, Brock Lesnar vs. Roman Reigns vs. Braun Strowman vs. Samoa Joe 2017. This was a no-brainer. I think this might be the best Fatal 4-Way in WWE history. All 4 of these guys were insanely over at this point, and this match was the wild destruction that everyone needed. It's a shame that WWE didn't capitalize with Braun Strowman, because in this match, it solidified that he was the best thing going in WWE at this point in 2017. Him destroying Brock and flipping the announce table on him is up there for one of the most memorable SummerSlam moments of all time. I remember going nuts with watching that spot alone, but this entire match, Samoa Joe getting those terrific sneak attacks, Roman popping up at the right moments to get the crowd scared, and Brock showing back up to cause more havoc and get the pin on the very beloved Big Dog. Carnage in the best possible ways, and one of the most adrenaline-fueled WWE matches ever. And that finishes the list. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave your opinions for the best SummerSlam matches of the past 5 years. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and duke out your opinions below in the comments.